Hello, my name's Dr. Kirsten Hunter, clinical psychologist of 24 years, and I thought I would talk today about the difference between OCD and OCPD. I have a lot of clients who come in and they say, oh, my husband's got OCD, or, my child, or I, or, you name it. And the truth is the person they're talking about they're indicating OCPD. So not many people know about this. So we've got OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, and then we've got OCPD, which is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. And they're different. They're completely different. So let's talk about it. OCD is what we typically know a lot of, which is somebody who has to, there's a million. They might have to check that the light switches are turned off, or they have to do the doorknob 3 times, or they have to go and check the stove and then they have to go back 3 times, or what else? They have to, there's a million. They have to use red pegs on red clothes and blue pegs on blue clothes, or the TV remote has to be on an even number, or it has to be in derivatives of 5, or so there's all of these sort of compulsive behaviours that have to be a certain way. Most common, by the way, of course, is that they have to wash their hands, and they have to keep going until they think their hands are clean. So often people with OCD who are hand washers have got red raw hands, which is really sad. So OCD is when someone has got a obsessive fear, and it's typically a fear of some sort of harm coming to themselves or family. And then they have a compulsion, which is quite, to the outside world, peculiar, bizarre, irrational, not linked. And they have to do this compulsive behaviour so that the obsessive fear doesn't come true. So, I have to touch this 3 times so that my family don't die. And it's extremely torturous, and it's the brain miswiring, getting it wrong. And the more they reach for the compulsive behaviour and then the obsessive fear doesn't happen, the more they believe, well, the obsessive fear didn't happen because I did the compulsive behaviour. And so it's a vicious cycle that keeps going. So OCD, that's how it is, and please seek treatment. I find OCD fantastic to work with because I get fantastic outcome really fast. It's very doable when the person's on board, particularly with children. Working with children is really great. So we could have someone who is a messy person, who is flexible in all other parts of life. You wouldn't know that they have this issue, but they have this one particular OCD trait. Then obsessive compulsive personality disorder is when the person across the board is incredibly detail orientated and pedantic about how everything is done, very detail orientated, and incredibly particular. And if it isn't done that way, then they become very, very agitated. They just can't tolerate it. So that's more of a personality style, and it's across the board, and if you live with them, you know it, and you can't mistake it. It's very obvious once you know that person quite well. You might work alongside them, live alongside them, travel with them, and you'll soon see their standards with how they do everything, incredibly meticulous. And, that's fine. It's not hurting anybody. If they can control their world and they can have it the way they need it to, they can be quite content. But it can get in the way when other people have different approaches because they're not very flexible. So there you go. Obsessive compulsive disorder and obsessive compulsive personality disorder, completely unrelated. One is a fear-based obsessive fear, and the other one is just a disposition in your personality. So good to talk about. If you want to catch me online, my website is kirstenhunterauthor.com, and Facebook and Instagram, Kirsten Hunter Author. Thanks so much.